The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Everything you do is being analyzed, it's being weighted, it's being measured.
I would always call this a spy phone. And it's not just iPhones that are spy phones. I mean, most smartphones are these days.
At the moment, we are in a state of universal interception. Edward Snowden did something that was a heroic act.
I would rather take the risks of democracy than the risks of dictatorship.
Digital dissidents on Al Jazeera.
Examining the headlines, setting the discussions.
A warning from Airbus over the risks of a no-deal Brexit.
Sharing personal stories with a global audience.
You have your own intelligence network on the ground to tell you where to go and not go.
Explore an abundance of world-class programming designed to inform, motivate and inspire you.
Brazilian people are truly afraid.
The world is watching on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. A quick reminder of the top stories here on Al Jazeera. Venezuela's border with Brazil has been closed as President Nicolas Maduro steps up attempts to stop US aid from getting in. Maduro says he's considering closing the border with Colombia as well. Palestinians across the West Bank are rallying to mark the 25th anniversary of a massacre at a mosque in Hebron. 29 worshippers lost their lives when a far-right American-Israeli settler opened fire in 1994. And day two of a conference at the Vatican looking at sexual abuse by priests will see more testimonies from victims. Some of them have already dismissed an action plan presented by Pope Francis on Thursday as not going far enough. Now, the world's ability to produce enough food is under severe threat, even as we face a growing global population. The variety of plant and animal life, crucial for crops, and the amount of usable land is on the decline. The warning has come from the FAO, the UN body charged with addressing global hunger. It says climate change is behind a drop in the number of insects needed to pollinate wild food sources, while pests and diseases have thrived. At the same time, changes in land use, pollution, overexploitation and overharvesting is driving the decline in traditional food sources. It highlights Gambia, where many people have been forced to eat alternative, often industrially produced foods. But the FAO says there is hope if nations educate communities on the importance of diverse animal and plant life and embrace eco-friendly practices like flooding rice fields in California during the off-season to entice wildlife back, and growing plants alongside crops to encourage the return of pollinating insects. Well, René Castro is from the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, who commissioned that report. He explained more about the study's findings.
We are losing plants and crops and livestock. I mean, partially for natural reasons and climate change, but also there is a change in the consumers' use of the biodiversity for food and agriculture. We are forgetting what our grandparents ate, and now more than 66% of the population were all eating from 9 crops and from 10 fish species. Why? Our grandparents, you know, they knew about 6,000 different plants and more than 500 different fish, and slowly we have been, you know, industrialized and commercializing only these few species, and our diet is being reduced. We think this is one of the problems for the population increasing the weight, becoming overweight and obese.